everyone, Elizabeth here with this week's episode of AnimeCons TV. In this week's episode we'll be talking about hotels, which we've talked about in the past, but it's been kind of a while, so we wanted to revisit and talk to people who may be newer to conventions so they know what goes into booking a hotel at a convention. Now, almost all cons will have a special hotel rate that the convention has negotiated with the hotel. So that if the convention is being held at a hotel, that hotel will have a special rate. If it's at a convention center, nearby hotels will have special rates. And sometimes there's overflow hotels, which may be a little bit further away, that have these special rates as well. The convention should have a page specifically dedicated to all the hotel information, where it is, what the rates are, links or information about how to book. So if you need to find information about the hotel, that's where you want to go, and hopefully the convention will have all the information available to you there. Now, the rate won't be the same as like a regular like Tuesday night when there's nothing else going on in the city, because like supply and demand or whatever, but it won't be like as astronomically high as it would be if the con didn't have, negotiating power to be like, hey, just because there's going to be a lot of people doesn't mean you can charge like $500 a night or whatever. So the con is looking out for you when they book these special rates for the convention. Now, if you're looking at the hotel's website before the rates are available, the hotel may appear to be sold out, but chances are it's probably not. It just means that the rooms aren't available because they're under contract with this rate, and they won't become available until that rate is available, and they may not be available at all unless you have this special rate available to you. So if you're like a ways out and you look at the hotel and it looks booked, don't worry, it might not actually be booked. Just check and see if the hotel rate is available yet through the convention, and if it's not, then don't worry, you're not out of luck. Now, keep in mind when booking for certain conventions. Some conventions are low stakes. You can, book a hotel just a couple months beforehand. You'll be fine. There'll be plenty of availability. This is for smaller conventions, ones that have like maybe a more local crowd that a lot of people will drive in each day instead of staying at the hotel. But some conventions are higher stakes, and some are more notorious than others in being for higher stakes. These are bigger conventions, ones that bring in, 20, 30, 50, 80,000 people, and they need a lot of hotel rooms for these people because this is one where people come from all over to go to. These are things like San Diego Comic-Con or Dragon Con, Otakon, things like that, where the number of people exceeds the number of hotel rooms available, especially the closer you are to the event. So it's become kind of what's known as the Hunger Games when it comes to booking these hotels, because sometimes they just go up like that, and unless you get a good jump on it, you're gonna have to look at something that's a little further away than the main hotel or hotels. Now, when the convention has this special rate, sometimes you book it through, sometimes you have to call a number and tell them, hey, I want to book for these days and I have a rate for this event. And then sometimes they'll be like, oh, what's this event? And they don't know, and that's always fun. Sometimes it's a special link that the convention will get, and they'll post it. Just click on the link, it'll bring you to the hotel's website with that rate available. Sometimes there's a code, so you go to the hotel's website, you plug in the code when you're putting in the information of when you're checking in and checking out, and it'll show you the rate. And then sometimes, especially for these higher stake cons, it'll go through a third party's website. So you'll be taken away from the hotel's website, and then to book the room, and then at some point the reservation will transfer from that third party to the hotel. So there might be times where, like, if you have a question or need to make a change on your reservation, you call a third party, and then at some point it'll move over to the hotel, and then you gotta call the hotel. So hopefully it spells it all out for you. But now, if the hotel you want to stay at is booked, hopefully the con will have some overflow hotel available. They may or may not have rates for those, but hopefully they'll be like, oh, if it's full, there's this hotel here and that hotel there that are close by that you can stay at. Now, even if the hotel rate is available still, don't be afraid to look outside the hotel rate, especially with the AAA rate. Now, if you're traveling to conventions a lot, especially if you're driving far distances, you definitely want AAA because it can help you out in a tough spot if you're having any car problems. But AAA can also give you really good discounts on hotels. So when you go to look, make sure you put AAA as a special option, and it'll show you the AAA rate. Pay really close attention when you're booking outside of hotel rates, because the cheapest rate available to you might be a non-refundable stay that you have to pay for completely upfront. And if that's okay with you, go ahead and do it. But just keep in mind that if like something happens or you're not able to go, you won't be able to get your money back. So I would recommend not booking that in case something happens. Like a little extra money might be worth the peace of mind, and hopefully the AAA rate can get you something a little better or pretty close to that non-refundable hotel cost. And whether you're booking through the hotel rate, the con rate, or on your own, pay really close attention to any deposits that need to be made, whether they're made at the time of booking, or maybe they're like a month before the convention, or any certain amount of time before the convention. Pay attention to any deposits and whether or not they're refundable or not. The more high stakes the convention, the more likely it is that you have to pay a deposit and that it's non-refundable. So it should spell all that information out for you. Hopefully the cons website will spell that all for you, and again, you'll see it as you're booking and all like the terms and conditions and things like that. Also keep in mind for all of these, whether this deposit is needed or not, is when the cancellation deadline is. Sometimes you can cancel the day of, sometimes it has to be as much as like 72 hours or more before you are able to cancel. And even with special rates, you want to make sure that when the cancellation deadline is, in case something happens and you need to cancel, that you're able to and you're not charged for canceling it too late. So do keep that in mind. Also, in determining costs, especially if you're splitting with friends, make sure to keep taxes and possible resort fees in mind. When you're going to book, when you're on that last page before confirm reservation, it should show you a breakdown of all the costs, so like the rate per night, any taxes, and any fees associated with it. And then it'll give you a bottom line dollar. This is how much you will be charged for your stay. So when you're divvying up costs with your friends, make sure you keep those in mind. So you're not like going back to friends being like, oh, it's actually an extra whatever amount per night. So you want to have all that information there. Also parking, keep that in mind, especially if you're in a city, you're probably gonna have to pay parking. Some cities it's a lot of money to park, so make sure you have that factored into your budget as well. I highly recommend signing up for the hotel rewards program. It's free, and if you're staying at that hotel every year for convention, then you'll be racking up points every year. And if you're staying at the same hotel brand for another convention or just for like a family trip or for work, you're racking up points. Sometimes they're doubled, sometimes you get bonus points, and those add up, and you can use it for free stays. You can use it to book discounted rooms, get upgraded. You can get free perks like Wi-Fi. If you like become a higher level, you get really nice perks like early check-in, late checkout, things like that. So it's definitely very worthwhile if you're the person doing most of the hotel reservation booking for your friends and you're staying at the same hotels, totally do it. And if you can, also get a credit card for that hotel chain. And if you do, make sure you use it responsibly and pay it off. Don't go drop your whole credit limit in the dealer's or anything like that. And make sure you pay off your balances every month. But those add up really quickly. If you use that card to pay for the hotel stay, you can get even more points that way, and then you find yourself with like, oh cool, I can go spend the random day, take a couple days at this hotel, and I only have to pay for one night instead of two, which is really cool. Now, when you're staying at the hotel, be kind to the hotel staff. It's going to be a very, very, very busy weekend for them. A lot of people checking in, a lot of people checking out, most times at the same time. A lot of people everywhere, and they're going to be little stressed. It's gonna be a very different weekend for them than most weekends. But be nice to them. It goes such a long way. Say please and thank you. Be patient, things like that. Make sure to tip your housekeeping, a couple dollars for each day that you're staying. You can, some people recommend leaving a little bit each day because the staffs can change, or you can leave it at the end of your stay when you check out. If you have any special requests, I would recommend calling them a few days before, like connecting rooms with friends. If you want to do that, make sure you have both confirmation numbers available so they can connect the reservations. If you want a low floor, if you want a high floor, early check-in or late checkout, all these things aren't guaranteed, so do keep that in mind. They may not be able to fill these requests. Those are things you want to call a couple days ahead of time. You also want to call the hotel if you'll be arriving after midnight, because after midnight they may choose your room to give to someone else because they might think you're a no-show, and I'm pretty sure it says it in the terms and conditions. So if you're gonna be late, even if it's like 10:30 and you find yourself 2 hours out, you're like, oh shoot, I'm not getting there at the time I thought I would, give the hotel a call and just be like, hey, this is my reservation number, I will be there, I'll just be there pretty late, and you should be all set. A few things to keep in mind with the room: pack trash bags and pack a power strip. I don't know, we seem to accumulate a lot of trash when we're staying in hotel rooms, so the trash bag can help because the trash bags they give you are pretty teeny, and the power strip is especially helpful, especially if you're in an older hotel that may not be upgraded to have a lot of outlets or USB ports, and everyone needs to be able to charge their phone, so power strip is very helpful as well. Let's keep in mind not all hotel rooms will have fridges, so don't rely on there being a fridge unless, like, it should say in the description like this room has a fridge, so don't expect there to be one unless it says there's going to be one. And finally, this is kind of weird advice, but test the iron out before you use it on your costumes, on probably just a towel in the hotel room, because sometimes the water can get gross and discolored and you don't want it to stain your costume. It's better for it to stain the towel. So just get it set up, give it a test, spray and do the steam thing to see what the water situation looks like, if there's any gunk on the iron. If your iron doesn't work for whatever reason, you can call down the front desk and they'll bring you a new one. So make sure you test it out like that before your costume so you don't ruin your costume, because that would be bad. So yeah, that's our advice around hotels. If you have any advice we didn't cover, or if you have any questions, you can, if you're on YouTube, you can comment down below. If you can email us, podcast@animecons.tv. You can call us at 762-ADEQUATE. I don't know it off the top of my head. It'll be here. You can comment on our Facebook page or Twitter or Instagram. And those are the ways to reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. We would love to hear any funny hotel stories or any horror stories that you might have. We would love to hear those. Maybe we'll feature them on a feedback episode. So until next time, we will see you guys later. Bye.